shaping and fitting them little by little until I got the fluffy texture I wanted. Hello beautiful people, this is my part 2 video of how I made Hobie from Rapunzel. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, please go check it out. There I show how I sculpted him using basically air dry clay. In this part I'll be showing you how I painted him and how I created the furry texture and which materials I used. First of all, I used acrylic paints. I mixed cyan blue, white, a tiny bit of black. I wanted the color to be soft pastel blue without looking too bright or oversaturated, so I added a little bit black to balance and mute the tone. I also placed the sculpture on top of an upside down bowl so I could rotate it easily while painting. It made the process much more comfortable. It was actually a bit challenging to decide on Hobie's exact color because in the movie he sometimes looks slightly purplish, sometimes more grayish and other times more bluish, depending on the lighting and the scenes. After looking at several references and remembering the moments from the movie, I decided to go for a more bluish gray tone to give him a dreamy and magical feeling. Even though my clay was completely dry after waiting complete 2 days, I still tried to avoid using too much water because I didn't want to reactivate the sculpture. It probably wouldn't have affected too much, but I wanted to be careful since I had experienced something similar before. I think it's better to apply at least the first layers using pure acrylic paints without water. For the chest, face, hands and the toes, I decided to keep the color more whitish so it would stay accurate to how Hobie looks in the movie. Moving forward, I start working on the face, and honestly, I wasn't able to record that part too much because it required a lot of focus and it took so much time to figure it out. The main thing I did was keep several reference images open on my computer to really understand his facial structure and expression. What I realized while painting his face is that Hobie actually has a very emotional and slightly tired looking expression. He feels surprisingly human-like with this soft uncanny effect, but in a very cute and charming way. I think it's finally time to explain the most asked question, how I made the furry texture. I actually use fiber filler that is normally used for pillows, and honestly this whole part was very experimental for me because I had no idea how it would turn out. I bought long ago from Temu for another project, but somehow I ended up using it for my sculpture. To attach it onto the sculpture, I used white glue and I slightly wet the brush with water so it wouldn't stick too much to the fiber filler while working. That helped me to spread the glue more smoothly and place the little pieces of filler properly on the sculpture, shaping and fitting them little by little until I got the fluffy texture I wanted. For this part, you really have to be super patient. Make sure to cut the fiber filler into very small pieces. Use only a small amount of glue, slightly wet your brush and work step by step. Also, I noticed some bald spot while applying it, so I went back with a second and sometimes even a third layer to fill the gaps. But I didn't completely cover the whole sculpture because I still wanted to keep that bluish dreamy painted effect to show through. And side note, I also didn't apply any fiber filler to the chest area because I wanted to keep that part hand painted and a little bit more crafty looking. And finally, for the whiskers, I literally used toothbrush bristles. I cut them into small pieces and I used a very strong glue on the face and carefully placed them one by one. Surprisingly, they held very easily once the glue dried. And this was the full story of my little sculpture. Thank you so much if you watched until the end, and especially if you also watched part 1. It truly means a lot to me. I'm a full-time artist, and being seen, supported, and knowing that my art reaches people who genuinely enjoy my creation means more than I can explain. Please stay safe, peace and love, and don't forget to follow me for more creation and projects. Thank you so much once again.